Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Another Marine ECM, this time testing a 4.3 Alpha. This was sent to me by James Hart. So his concern is as this unit seems to randomly reset itself just like someone quickly flips the dead man switch off and back to run. So he has checked and he put some more things in here that are um, part of what I would need it to for testing. But so what I want to also to show is, and I hope the camera is picking this up really well because it's very important. Yes, I think it is. So this is the inside. So again, this is his computer. I want to show part numbers and everything for him and for you guys to see because this is very important. That's the calibration number. It's a May 2007, and this is an ECM0501. So we can see definitely corrosion, and this is how it gets inside. Not from the outside, which in this one did as well, but mostly from the connector. And it's very important to use dielectric grease on these connectors, not too much, because remember, dielectric grease is actually non-conductive. So if you put that onto the terminals, then you're going to start having conductivity problems because of the same grease. So just put it outside, so kind of like creates a barrier. Even though these connectors should be weather protected, weather pack protected because of this position. But so what I wanted to see is now inside here. All right, so this is with the cover removed. Sometimes the camera is, I mean, the light is not the best, but we can see, let me get something to point, how we got corrosion on this area right here, and on this area. And this, we can see how it went in. This is the EEPROM. You see all this wrinkle on this is because of the water, temperature and water. And we can see a little bit of corrosion. And here, like hopefully, again, the camera is picking this up right here in some of the components. So what I tell James that I want to do is remove the conformal coating, which is a water resistant coating. It is not a, as I say, water protected or protective, because this is not going to stop the water from damaging your components if it's underwater. And this is what we have a little bit in here. And we can see again, if we see, and I can see through here, let me again try to get the best position. Sometimes it's hard to show. Let me put my glasses again because I have the microphone in the way of my glasses. Okay, I got it now. So we can, I haven't touched this, just remove, like open it, but we can see all these drip marks and fluid splashing. You see how much? Yes, this is usually 100% clean. And believe me, I'm an expert on this computer. I have probably repaired, I don't know, maybe 600 to 1,000 of these same ECM0501, and I can see the water coming in. So obviously, I'm going to clean these covers really well, reseal it, and apply the conformal coating, which I have also shown in multiple of my videos. But let me put it here. So this is this silicone modified conformal coating that I use. Is a very, very good one. It has to set for at least 4 hours, but that is just to cure. So I don't mind applying it and then resealing it and then send it over to the customer. No matter what, this is going to be sent to him, and he is from, I think, Indiana. Let me just make sure. Yes, he's from Indiana, so by the time it gets to him, it will be completely cured, not a problem. All right, so let's first connect to the computer because that is also very important. I think this is a very good capture so you can see the droplets, see, dry in there. So I dry this up completely, trying not to remove the sign of the water because I didn't want it to connect the computer and then burn it to no repair, right? So I was able to dry this up, applying heat with a heat gun and drying this up so I can feel somehow safely to try to test the computer because not with the fluid, right? All right, so going into the test and to put a commercial, if you have a computer and you need to contact me, just look for Mike and it spells MAIC, Salazar Diagnostics. That is my address in here, 2466 Cypress Green Lane in Herndon, Virginia. And you can click in here. You see what I put, just this red hand in here. You can just click in there and that will open your email program, and you can send me an email and start a conversation with me. All right, going back to here, let me open Diacom. I'm going to select, let me just make sure. Well, first thing that we want to know is the main power relay and the field pump to come on. So main power relay, field pump. Okay, that's a good sign. So let's see if we get communication, which I already know I do. So I'm just following for him and for my records, the normal procedures that I do with all the computers. So in here, I'm going to select MacRuser 2001 to 2009 PCM and ECM555, and then the rest of, as is described in there. Right, click OK. That immediately connects, which is okay. Thing that I want to show you is, okay, right now we got 100% power, which is good. I drive all the water, so that is okay. But that is not the fix. The fix is this needs completely refurbished. So these computers, when they go in the water, now capacitors, diodes, the EEPROM, two of the main drivers for the components, which are these two here, needs to be replaced, and all the all the drivers. That's important. The main diode, I always replace that, and the 5 volts regulators, which is important. So this computer will be good for another, hopefully 20 years or so. All right, so let's read the history, and this is going to be a hint because the computer shows us a very low hours, but something that is not correct is like the hours, no battery high, no battery low, like somebody erased the hours history. This only happens if the battery, I mean, sorry, it doesn't happen when you disconnect the battery. I mean, you can remove this computer from the board and the history has to stay. So the only time that something like this happens is when you have a major short internally in the board and the EEPROM gets compromised. So I spoke to James and I tell him, I need to completely fix this computer, replace the major components, a new EEPROM calibration, and then send it back to him. And he approved the repairs already. So I'm just recording these for mine and his record. So the data is going to be pretty much the same. So this computer right now has 125.2 hours, but it has no history of faults. And then he also describes this. He says, I have noticed that when I am monitoring the ECMs with my 555 scan software, the laptop disconnects the CAN bus from the scanner. When it does it beeps, and I can restart the scan and monitor the time data until it beeps again. Also, I have noticed that the ignition voltage being displayed with my software will read the normal 14 volts when the engine is running, but I have observed a drop to 0.88 volt DC repeatedly. It seems to correlate when it beeps, it's reading the voltage at 0.880, like 880 millivolts, of course. So that is a direct short. James, you are very lucky that this computer actually survives. I'm going, like I said, remove all the conformal coating, clean all the corrosion, and then send this your way. But yeah, we can definitely see the amount of water that was here. So I'm going to run this test and then perform the repairs, and then record a video with the computer fully running. I don't want to run the computer for any longer due to the same thing. I don't want to put, any short circuits that, I mean, I drive really, really good, but it's still corrosion, and corrosion is conductive. All right, guys, so this will be I will not say even part one. I will probably just proceed because the test is going to be pretty quick. I will probably seal the computer. I will add the pictures of the conformal coding apply so he can see all that, and you guys as well in here on the video, and then run the test. All right. All right, guys, I finished with James' computer's repair. I cleaned the computer pretty much, I mean, looking like new, remove all the corrosion, even the cover, I polish it. I applied a conformal coating and you will see it nice and shiny. I can also show you, let me just get a UV light, because on the naked eye it's hard to see, but as soon as you put UV light, now you can see the protection, which is really, really good. I mean, it's completely covered, so these will prevent and try to help in case is water from moisture and temperature on the unit, itself is not abnormal. Let me just make sure that I show the other side so we can see that this is the same computer that was here before. You see I remove all the corrosion areas. I replace most of the components, drivers, pre-drivers, EEPROM, reflash the computer, capacitor diodes, all voltage regulators. So this is a computer that is pretty much back to new condition and it's working perfectly. So right now on the screen that I'm going to show you in a second, right now I have red channel is one of the injector banks because this is a two bank of injectors. So I have the red channel on one of those banks, but we can see both working perfectly. Fuel pump is on, main power relay is on. I already checked 5-volt reference and sensor ground, but let me do it on the video. This right here is a substituted value instead of the eye control valve, which I had the original and is working perfectly. So that is again not necessary for my testing unless there is actually a concern that I need to correct or something, but not for this case. A little tight in here, so give me just 1 second. So I should have done this before starting the video, but it's okay. So we can see sensor ground because I'm using the sensor ground and the 5-volt reference. They're both good. On the blue channel, I had the COM bus. I replaced the transceiver, the CAN transceiver for the computer. Yellow channel is the tachometer, and the green channel is the ESC signal. This is a one ESC signal per all 80 cylinders. So everything is working good. I'm going to make the capture go faster because right now I'm at 5 milliseconds per division. In order to see that COM bus, I have to actually go even faster. Obviously, it's a COM bus, and we can see how that signal start to change. If I put a resistor in place, we will see those square waves, but I know the amplitude is there and everything is good. Again, for my testing, that's perfect, and I know it's working 100%. So I'm going into 5 milliseconds per division as we were before, because that's what I usually capture and see my data. So I'm going to go up to 4,500 RPMs, and we see more of that same injector bank. Sorry, it happened when talking and I forgot what I was doing. So let me raise a throttle position to a range close to what I need and raise the map. And this computer says pressure. That will change the injector millisecond. Now we're having 6.1 milliseconds per division on the injection, and that's what we see that in there. As we can see, we got more ESD signals and the tachometer obviously representing the speed that we have. But good thing is we got 100% power. um, I did and I will also um, read the RPM history, which I already erased because this is a clean calibration. So this is now running and it has, as you will see, no hours at all. Right now it's like zero point 0.2 hours on 4,000 to 4,500 RPMs, and then 0.07 in idle. And the time is now 125.30. So I'm going to keep this running for a while and then reset again the, the hours. So we will have only, or he will have only the running time, and I will say that save as the history before I send it to him. Another thing that I wanted to show here is the system information so we can see the calibration. That is indeed for a 2007 4.3 alpha. Let me scroll up because that's usually, well, it's already did it. It's a ECM CDD call. The calibration is a 8M2002283 from 2007, a 4.3 alpha. So everything is again working perfectly. So James, your computer again is back into brand new condition. I will run this. I have to reconnect because when you read that information, it resets a disconnect in order to gather that information from the computer. But all is live data, everything is working good. I'm going to keep it running for maybe an hour and then seal the computer and then send this to James as soon as possible so he can get the boat back in the water and celebrate the 4th of July with the family. James, thank you so much for taking me in consideration, my small company. You're definitely appreciated and you're helping a small business grow. I really appreciate. Thank you so much for all the watching the videos. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. And if you have any need on repairs on any type of computers, automotive or marine, please contact me again through my website. Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.